Hey Zinesters! Back in September, I tabled at Paper Plains Zine Fest, and I got a ton of new zines to read. Let's check them out. Paper Plains is a zine festival in Lawrence, Kansas. This was the second year of the event and my second time tabling. In addition to having the cutest mascot, that smiling copy machine named Jammy, there were also tons of cool zines to pick up. Let's start with the zines I got from my table neighbor, Iris Cliff. Iris had all sorts of zines featuring these cute characters, and I picked up these too. I'm most excited about Dave, which is the shop cat at beloved Lawrence stationery store Wonder Fair. I snagged a copy of Hayley Green's Japan Trip art zine. This dreamy, glossy tome shares snippets of Japanese art history and culture. I was happy to trade one of my zines for a copy of Duffyboii's Sketchbook Chronicles. I love how they cut out their sketches and present them almost like a sticker book. I think that's such a cool way to condense a sketchbook down into a zine format. A menagerie of mini zines found their way home with me. First up, Rose teaches us how to make a 3D render of a cartoon cat. Next, Elizabeth shares some beautifully soothing photos of her garden. We ascend to a higher realm with Bailey Corbin's mini full of plants and angels. And finally, Erin introduces us to Columbo, who might remind you of a famous TV detective. This bouquet of mini zines really shows off what I love so much about zines. You can transform a single sheet of paper into so many different extraordinary little works of art. My friend Casey created this zine from collages he submitted to the Library Sketchbook Project in Brooklyn. Unfortunately, the project closed down and their warehouse caught fire, and Casey's original sketchbook was destroyed. So this zine is quite literally the only remaining evidence that any of these works of art ever existed. Oi Sauce lured me into trading for this zine by telling me about its mascot, the adorable Chef Crouton, but I was won over by its lovely illustrations of simple-to-make meals. My friend Heather's work is up next. I picked up her Matrix fanzine as well as her newest Mushroom Lady sticker, but that's not a zine, so let's put that away. Anyways, her Matrix zine is part fanzine, part Perzine, and recounts how the seminal sci-fi flick freed her mind and inspired her dreams for a post-capitalist future. I had to swing by my friend Barb's table as I wanted a copy of their comic, I'm Half Mexican. Don't let those bubbly illustrations fool you. This zine deals with the trauma of having part of your identity withheld from you. But it also savors in the joy of their Hispanic heritage and celebrates the food and traditions that bring them closer to it. I also snagged 2 of their food minis. They look good enough to eat. I gave Naked Lines by John Charles Bricker a flip through, and I was drawn in by the loose, sketchy illustration style. I'm always looking for new comics to read, so I can't wait to dive into this one. Speaking of new comics, I picked up the first 3 issues of Ethan Fitzgerald's Curse of the Wasteland. This grungy cyberpunk dystopia follows a demon hunter on his missions. Cosmo and I traded, and I picked up the newest edition of their Battle Jacket zine. This primer on what they are and how to make your own is bold and delightfully illustrated. I think it'd be the perfect zine for any baby punks in your life who want to put studs on their clothes but don't know where to start. I swung by J.Val's table and picked up the latest issues of Encounters with Nameless Spirits. This word puzzle roleplay game hybrid is a total blast. If you're into crossword puzzles, you should check out this inventive mini-zine series. Speaking of inventive, my hands-down favorite zine from the fest is the whimsically creative Cosmic Brownie Mancy by my friend Nash. This zine teaches you how to use Little Debbie cosmic brownies for divination, and for a zine about snack food, it's like weirdly poetic. And last but certainly not least is Queer Media Futures, a collection of essays by Corrine Yoder-Mulkey. With topics ranging from journalism to gender to surviving capitalism, I am so excited that this zine is in my to-be-read pile. I traded my own zines for almost all of this haul and debuted the first issue of my new Perzine, Cat Moth Crow, at the fest. Perzines are my bread and butter, my very favorite genre of zine, but it had been a while since I had published one, and I'm so glad to be back. There were so many incredible zinesters at Paper Plains. Over 100 different creators vended at the fest, so this is only a tiny snippet of the zines that were available for sale or trade. They're all so different and so unique, and that to me is the best thing about zines and zine fests. Every table is doing their own thing, but we're all united by our love for this DIY accessible art form. I can't wait for next year's fest. You know I'll be there, and hopefully I'll have a few more issues of Cat Moth Crow to share.